Hey there, everybody. This is Ed, and welcome back to another edition of Bagel and Booze, Rank Chug, Holiday Edition. We're knee deep in December. I guess we're getting there. It's in the first full week of it, but with this week's review, we're going to continue on with our holiday, seasonal inspired beers. This week should definitely fit in more with the seasonal flavor profile that I've come to expect out of a seasonal beer. Not like last week's of peach and pecans. Still can't figure out how the heck that translates into a holiday flavor. We found out it didn't miss the mark. But for today's beer, from what I've looked up on it, this definitely, from the flavor profile that should be in this, definitely should line up really well. Make sure you're clicking on that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with the latest beer reviews and whatnot. And let's go ahead, get everything all set up, get the Beercam fired up, and then get everything all poured out for the taste test, sniff test, and ultimately the chug test. For this week's review, we're heading up to Cooperstown, New York. We're heading up to Ommegang Brewery, and what we've got for them is, this is their Everything Nice. It is a limited edition that they've brewed out, clocks in at 9.0%, not even. And what it is a strong Belgian style blonde ale, and they, right on the bottle, as you can kind of see, it's brewed with seasonal spices, natural and artificial flavors. Leaves you a little to wonder what was in it. I definitely wanted to know getting into this, especially after being gun shy from last week's. And according to the brewer, the seasonal spices in here are cinnamon, ginger, nutmeg, cloves, and white pepper. Definitely lines more up for a seasonal beer profile that we would get this time of year. Not really sure what the natural and artificial flavors are. There was no documentation of that, so we'll just have to find it out during the sniff and smell test. Might as well just get right into it. It is Rank Chug, so no BS, except for our drinking and chugging.
I drink and I know things.
So we got everything all poured out, and as you can see, we got the Stella glass back. 'Tis the season. Well, the brewer recommends a chalice style glass for this one, so we obliged. As you can see, it pours out, got a nice good color on it, sets up a good decent well-formed head off of this. Coloring, it's a little on the kind of, I would classify it kind of like straw color, darker, I guess not really straw, a darker color, not quite a dark amber, a little cloudy, which we kind of expect out of the Belgian style ales. Sniff test, I'm getting kind of some overtone of, I guess, kind of a little bit of citrus, grapefruit, orange, some type of citrus that's in there. Not much else. It's kind of, I'm not getting much of the spice profile coming through. You would kind of maybe hope on that we would get more of that spice profile coming through. Usually cinnamon, the clove. Clove is usually what we usually get a good whiff of on these seasonal beers, but not really getting that. It's more of the of this citrus flavor profile that's coming through on the nose of the beer. So might as well give it a taste test and figure out what we got character wise. So bottoms up. So right off of the bat, very complex set of flavors that's in there. The initial hit, I do get some of the subtleness of the spices, not really overpowering. There we go. There's a little something on the backside, kind of pine, I guess, coming from the hops with that. But take another swig, and yep, it definitely is a pretty robust flavor. To me, I'm getting more of this overall kind of flavor profile on the backside. So you get an upfront, more of the spices, a little bit of the of grapefruit, orangey type flavor, and then on the backside, it definitely comes more through of this floral, earthy, piney, almost kind of in the realm of IPA. I know it's not an IPA, but it kind of just from a mouthfeel kind of lines up and what have you in connection with that. Nothing's really overpowering on either side. It's got a good, nice, robust, as it take as we come to find out. The initial taste test usually is not always the best. Once we start getting a little bit more and a couple of additional sips, we get a little bit more richness and different profiles come out to us. And with this one, I'm still, I guess maybe it's these natural and artificial flavors that don't know what they're published, and just trying to draw it out in connection with that. And it's a little tough to kind of just put my finger on it, but like I said, a little bit of the spice on the front, kind of a mix of floral earthiness kind of on the backside, and then ultimately there's a little bit of heat spice that comes up in off of the final kind of setup of this. Trying to figure out a rating for this one. This one's a little more difficult. I like it. I don't really love it, but just with that the whole flavor profile that's in there, just leaves a little bit something desired. I guess if we're gonna put it in at anything, we'll put it in at a 3.5, almost a 4. I really can't get it up there that high because it's just kind of lacking that little bit of extra to kind of push things over. It definitely is a good, solid beer from the whole setup and the flavor and the smell profile. Again, nothing's overpowering, so that's kind of where we're at with a 3.5. It's a real high 3.5, almost 4. But I guess if I got a bit more of the actual kind of seasonal spice profile that came through, it would definitely be up in the 4, maybe even 5 range. With that, we're going to find out if it is chuggable. And we'll see if anything changes in regards to those flavor profiles of either side of that kind of unknown side, or the spices really kind of come to the forefront. So it's time to figure out if this beer will chug. I'm going to venture pride. Yes, the unknown is going to be if any of these flavor profiles that are out there, either that unknown earth floral thing that's going on, or the subtle spices that are there, see if any of those come forward. We usually get something a little bit different that really kind of pops out. Maybe some of that white pepper, the little bit of burn that was in there will come forward. So only one way to figure it out and find out is bottoms up. Let's go. Woo. Um, yep, it is chuggable, and just as I expected, it just, that whole flavor profile of everything just kind of burst through. It's really intense right now, and I definitely get that what that unknown is. It's in that IPA range of the grapefruit, that pine type, where I was kind of trying to put my finger on it, really couldn't before. I definitely can now. The spices, I was kind of hoping they would kind of blast forward. I would really get more of the cinnamon, nutmeg, and clove that would really come to the forefront off of that. It was a little bit more. I could definitely taste them in there, but it's a subtle blend of everything. So seasonal beer. I think more kind of heavy on the spices to give it that characteristic. Neither side really dominates in connection with each other, which sets up very nicely. Balances off very well. We gave it a solid recommendation. And again, I'm not really finding too much wrong with this one, so I recommend it. And hopefully you will be able to find it and you will enjoy it too. And with that, I'm done. This is done. We're done. And I thank you again for tuning in for another edition of Bagel and Booze, and we'll catch you later.